Let's move on to Ukraine. And I just wanted to start off with this, the latest defense intelligence update, because it's just another disgraceful piece of text. Soft ground conditions, according to the Ministry of Defense, are the biggest problems across most of Ukraine. Severe mud is likely slowing operations on both sides of the conflict. However, Russian online outlets are likely exaggerating the overall impact of mud on Ukrainian forces as part of an information operation aimed at raising Russian morale and undermining Ukraine supporters in light of an anticipated Ukrainian counteroffensive. Is that likely or not? I think it's not very likely that that's what they're doing.
Well, this is what they're putting out. What's the real question? Yeah, how credible is the defense intelligence updates from the UK? What's their track record like? Have they been? What's their batting average, as they say in America?
Pretty low.
So I don't know.
Pretty low.
I take it all with a pinch of salt coming out of that.
But where does that take us? It takes us onto the Pentagon leaks, and well, this continues to garner reactions, Patrick.
Sure. Here's the real reactions that we like to see. Reactions from lawmakers, legislators. Matt Gaetz, congressman from Florida, introduces a new resolution, House resolution, privileged resolution, to force President Biden and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin to transmit all documents on deployed U.S. troops in Ukraine. That was one of the big takeaways, was the confirmation that there were 100-odd U.S. Special Forces in a combat capacity on the ground in Ukraine. So that was part of the Pentagon leaks, and we covered that last week. So here's the result of this. They want an audit. They want to know who's in there, what they're doing in Ukraine, how long they've been there, and so forth. So this is going to be interesting. Whether this is going to get any traction with the rest of the House is maybe not, maybe doubtful. But you can see things are moving after these Pentagon leaks. That's a very important signal. Very important signal indeed. So think about that. And also, here's Peter Hitchens' recent article here. Why are the SAS in Ukraine? And why do we have do we have a clue why we're involved in this war? So for the Mail on Sunday, interesting. So you've reported on this before, haven't you?
On the fact that the SAS is in Ukraine, yes. So the Pentagon leaks certainly suggested that the UK had the largest number of special forces operating in Ukraine at 50, and actually the United States was quite a few down the list. So we were well out in front on that. So I hadn't seen this article from Hitchens.
Yeah. So it's good to see. So the questions are being asked here, and certainly they're not going to stop. And at the same time, this has also surfaced here. A group of Republican lawmakers have sent this letter to the President of the United States, and this is what they're saying: unrestrained U.S. aid for Ukraine must come to an end, and we will adamantly oppose all future aid packages unless they are linked to clear diplomatic strategy designed to bring this war to a rapid conclusion. I like the sound of that. I don't know about you. There's the signatures, and there's some familiar faces on there. Senator Mike Lee, Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky, Andy Biggs, Paul Gosar, Arizona. And Matt Gaetz, of course, again, no surprise there. So that's those senators and House members, Congress members. So not a bipartisan letter, but nonetheless, you have a fairly strong anti-war contingent built into the Republican Party, remnants of the old Freedom Caucus. J.D. Vance as well, freshman senator from Ohio. So this is, I think this is overall very encouraging. We'll see how much purchase it gets.
Okay, and that takes us to this.
So I just wanted to point out, if people will go, this is an amazing overview here. The Ukraine crisis in context, Brzezinski's grand chessboard in the 21st century. And this is by Dr. Jean Aramton, and he's a Turkish scholar, and his work on this is incredible. So he pretty much breaks it down, how we got to this point to begin with, and how this is just a continuation, a gradual continuation of U.S. policy, U.S. grand strategy over the last few decades. So from administration to administration, he shows there's been absolutely no change in the U.S. Orientation towards Ukraine and Russia on this. And there are plans and there are intentions to break up Russia or to make it into a failed state. So you'll see the receipts are in that article. So I encourage people to get it, share the link as well. It's an excellent read.
Okay, so if this open letter from the senators is asking for the U.S. to stop aid to Ukraine, what's the U.S. administration's response to that? Well, here it is. This is from Secretary of State Antony Blinken, additional U.S. security assistance for Ukraine. Let's just see what he had to say. Pursuant to a delegation of authority from President Biden, I'm authorizing our 36th drawdown of U.S. arms and equipment for Ukraine, valued at $325 million. The security assistance package includes more ammunition for US-provided HIMARS and artillery rounds, as well as anti-armor systems, small arms logistics support vehicles, and maintenance support essential to strengthening Ukraine's defenders on the battlefield. Now, of course, when he says maintenance support there, he's talking about US servicemen providing maintenance support on the ground.
Sure.
Yeah. So what happens then if the United States sends Patriot missiles to Ukraine? How many U.S. staff go along with those?
Lots and lots and lots more. Not only that, you've got the whole supply chain for the Patriot missile batteries. You've got engineering. You've got maintenance. You've got ordnance. You're talking about a huge contingent of U.S. forces, and those are going to be likely around someone like Kiev, for instance, or maybe Lviv as well. This does dovetail to what we said last week. Is the final card going to be a play to create a no-fly zone or a safe zone in Western Ukraine? So we'll see.
So Jens Stoltenberg then, over the last day or two, was in the Czech Republic, meeting the Czech president, Petr Pavel. There they are. They look very handsome together. But let's just look and listen to what Petr Pavel said, a very brief comment here with respect to Russia, and we get an idea of what the thinking is within NATO.
I'm happy that we all understand that there is no alternative to supporting Ukraine, because alternative to it is success of Russia. And that would mean many more problems for us, potentially even more serious than we face today. So support of Ukraine is a must, and we have to be consistent in maintaining sufficient public support in our countries, explaining people what kind of threat we would face if we stop supporting Ukraine.
So that was quite an incredible comment. You know, if basically they're saying there can be no peaceful solution to this problem, with that Russia cannot be allowed to continue to be as powerful as it is, and they've got to do everything. So, you know, what can we say? Now, on Wednesday's program, Brian asked the question, where is Ben Wallace? And well, it turns out he was in the United States over the last couple of few days, meeting, who is this?
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, yeah, right. Okay.
That's my pet name.
Yes, I know.
Lloyd
Austin, yeah.
He's our defense secretary.
Indeed, and he was also meeting General Mark Milley to discuss a range of defense and security issues of mutual concern, including support for Ukraine in this war, and NATO and AUKUS, of course, as well. But he didn't end there. He flew from the United States over to Switzerland, where he was signing defense agreements there. But don't worry, Patrick, because those, whatever documents they were signing there, and we don't know the specific details of them, they are honoring Swiss military neutrality. I'm not quite sure how you do that when you're signing defense agreements with countries, that if you're a neutral country. But you know, we're starting to see countries that have traditionally had neutrality, like Switzerland and Ireland, seeming to move away from that position, and it's probably not the best.
So they're using Ukraine, using this crisis to
100%.
Drag the last neutral countries. What's left after that? Austria? Is there anyone left besides that in Europe? No.
I don't think so, no.
Not really.
No.
Interesting.
So